don't turn up in here tonight and I get fined. If all the fine money was going to the Ricky Stewart Foundation, I'd tell you the truth today. Because then I get fined and I know the money's going to the best cause I know of. I can't tell you the truth. I can't tell you the way that game panned out because I get fined. So I'm not going to answer any questions. I've done my job. Thanks.
They were at their best. Melbourne Storm wrestled today. Yeah, I thought they were at their best today in that area. It was slow, it was frustrating. Referee Smith did a good job. Seriously, I watched him closely today. He managed the game perfectly. He got off the line early. I can complain about it as much as I like during the week, but he just does it very, very good. I wish we had a couple of them. He's just a good player, and he knows how to, whether you call it fought the rules or push the referee or whatever it is, he's the best at it. And he showed tonight he had one of those games.
NRL coaches are under huge amounts of pressure. If their team doesn't win games, it could mean that they lose their job. So when controversial referee decisions play a role in deciding the match, it can cause coaches to let out their frustrations and blow up. For this list, we are only considering NRL coaches blowing up in the sit-down post-match media conference, which all coaches must attend after the match. So, this is greatest game of all, and these are 10 post-match press conference blow-ups. Number 10, Ricky Stewart in 2018. You've probably already figured out that Ricky Stewart would feature multiple times on this list. After all, he has been fined over $120,000 by the NRL across his coaching career. He once again spoke his mind in this round 19 clash against the Sharks, where a potential knock-on from the Sharks forced a touch judge to put his flag up for a brief second, before allowing play to continue, which led to a Cronulla try. This confused a few Raiders players as they saw the flag go up and immediately stopped playing. The Sharks would go on to win by 4 points, and betting company Ladbrokes actually paid out head-to-head bets on the Raiders to win the match, as well as offering to pay for any fines that Ricky Stewart may receive from the post-match press conference. Here's what he had to say.
Disappointing is we're talking about it, isn't it? I just criticised my players in there for not playing to the whistle. And then they tell me, well, the flag went up and the referee called knock on. So what are they meant to do? Fortunately, it makes it harder when you've got people making error that doesn't help you when you're after a result. But any time a touch judge puts his flag up, isn't the referee meant to blow his whistle? And this rot started at round 1 this year. Now, I don't know who came out and told the referees that they had to come in and pick on everything in regards to the 10-metre rule, hands on the ball, start nitpicking at little bits and pieces of shitty pieces of play. And realistically, if you're going to do that right, because in every tackle of every set of 6, you can find something in rugby league. But that's the beautiful thing about our game.
Number 9, Ricky Stewart in 2015. Stewart made this press conference quick and straight to the point in his team's round 12 loss to the Broncos. Only answering one question, Stewart only took 24 seconds to get his point across before storming out of the room.
No, it wasn't one of those games, mate. Toddy Greenberg, he was at the game tonight, and I just really hope he saw what I saw. And it's a lot healthier for our club. And if I don't go any further into this press conference, and it's not out of, it's, in respect to all the media, got nothing to do with you, but it's just a lot healthier if I don't continue. Thanks.
Number 8, Ricky Stewart in 2014. Round 10 of the 2014 season saw the Panthers topple Ricky Stewart's Raiders 26-20. That result did come with some controversy, with the Penrith try, a late penalty, and a forearm incident all being addressed in the post-match conference by Stewart. He was fined $10,000 for bringing these decisions up during the conference.
I know what type of character you are, mate. If you get a forearm in the head, what would you do? You'd react. But he was bringing that back to penalise us. He got it wrong. I've been involved in some clangers in my career, and I'll have all my critics, which are all lining up, all saying I'm a whinger, but I've been involved in some refereeing clangers, and I tell you, that takes the cake today. Our most important spectator at this game today was Archer. He's seen it firsthand, so we don't need to go back and review it. That last one, it's laughable. The referees today were not at the standard of a first-grade referees. We've got to take a dive in the game to get a penalty today. Josh Papali got hit by, and only slightly, but it's in the rules, you're not allowed to be impeded by a lead runner coming through the line. If Josh Papali had went to the ground and took a dive, we get a penalty, it's no try. That was, I've seen some good ones, but my gosh, that was poor. But as I say, I'll be labelled a whinger. But if I don't come out and say if I don't come out and tell the truth, I'm not protecting and I'm not doing the right thing by my players. It's because the players are frustrated, mate. They're frustrated. The referees cause those blues. Because players get frustrated. Campo gets frustrated. Campo's a competitor. He's a frustrated person at the moment. When you get when you get poor refereeing decisions that are just incorrect, purely incorrect, that frustrates you because it's a tight competition. It's a tight game. Every game's a tight game, and they're crucial. That was a crucial 2 points for us today that I thought we could have got.
Those are coaches, though,
That'll do. And then I'm costing me 20 or 30,000.
Campo had the lead, mate. Was it on or knee?
Number 7, Trent Robinson in 2016. The annual Roosters vs Dragons Anzac Day clash saw the Roosters lose by 2 points and Trent Robinson unloaded on referee Ben Cummins and the bunker. This was over how the bunker was picking up on everything in the game and how referee Cummins was treating his players, especially the captain Jake Friend. He also said Cummins had been horrible and disrespectful to his players for many years. Robinson was fined $40,000 for his remarks.
A couple of decisions there, we had pressures. That was split second. The bunkers decided to be the on-field ref today. They jumped in at every occasion. They've got to, they're not the match review committee. They're not the match review committee. There's a head clash. Boyd Cordner had to get taken from the field, as did Tane Milne on the Napa tackle. Dylan bounced up off his body. There won't be a charge around it. And the bunker decides that they're going to play the match review committee and call a penalty. We're on Anzac Day. We're on Anzac Day. We want to play a tough game. And they were just soft calls coming from a bunker. They weren't good enough. And then, Ben's been horrible for, disrespectful to our players for many years, and it's continued. We've had good high percentage win rate up until this year. And Ben Cummins, we've won 2 games under him. He speaks poorly to our players, won't look them in the eye, and then they have 20-metre restart at the end of the game, 4 minutes to go. It's just poor. The way that he spoke to Jake during the game was unacceptable.
Number 6, Ricky Stewart in 2013. Back when he coached the Eels in 2013, Ricky Stewart unleashed on the referees in his team's Round 6 clash against the Titans. Stewart brought up the penalty count and how the Titans weren't getting penalised for similar infringements to what his team were getting penalised for. He was fined $10,000 for his lengthy spray on the referees.
Well, I just feel sorry for the players, and it's happened every week. We're just a very, very easy team to penalise. I'm sick and tired of Daniel Anderson talking to my coaches during the week and saying, yeah, he understands in regards to the penalty, that wasn't a penalty, no penalty, no penalty, no penalty, and yet it still happens week in, week out. It's only because they're a very easy team to penalise. You haven't got any of the higher profile players where you can get the penalties or milk the penalty. It's bullshit. I just feel so sorry for the players. You bust your ass all week in preparation. I know what they go through, these boys. Yet to go out there and to be 7-0 down in the second half, be the better football team to be 7-0 down in the second half, then lose at 8-1 and you get a cheap penalty with 2 minutes to go. It's wrong. I really don't know where Daniel Anderson and these referees are taking the game. The NRL talk to broadcasters, they say don't bag the referees. There's referees there that are interpreting a different game of football to other referees. It's just not consistent. And these poor blokes go into a game of football like that, and they're the better team for the first half, the scoreline says so, and all of a sudden it's 7-0 in 35 minutes of football in penalty count, and yet there were probably 7 penalties there, and it probably could have been more that we were actually penalised for, and they're probably penalties. I'm not blaming about that. There's no way they were that clean. It's just wrong. It was unfair tonight, and I really feel sorry for the players. It was very, very obvious.
Did it decide the game, Ricky?
Oh, well, what do you think?
Heavy, wasn't it?
Oh. Over the last 2 weeks, we've thrown 2 good passes that were all ruled forward, yet they were just too good for the refs. That wasn't a forward pass tonight to young Kalepi going through and scoring under the post. The pass was too good for the ref. Talk about first grade standards. Everybody's got to get to first grade standards. Now we sit here and we've got to front the media and we've got to try and talk to the media, and I'll try and do it as honestly as I can. We'll get those referees in here to talk about their bullshit errors. Ask Daniel Anderson about that. He'll come back and give you the sheet that I read during the week and don't understand. Obviously, I'm not that intelligent. But I read their reviews. I'm no further advanced in regards to reading their review. But it'll be yes, correct, a correct decision, poor decision. No one's got any responsibility or any ownership of decisions or their referee performance. Indiscretion. It's referee's indiscretion. Well, right, it's right or wrong. And if he's wrong, he's not first grade standard. Put him back to the under-20s.
Potter said last Monday that Melbourne were better.
Same referee, mate.
Yeah, Melbourne were better at talking to the referees. You're being penalised and your opposition isn't. Is that what?
I don't have to worry about any other teams. You can't have a 7-0 penalty count and win a game of football. And yet it shouldn't have been 7-0. Simple. We're growing. We're a young team. We're easy to penalise. We're easy to jump into. I'm up in the box and I'm hearing two referees saying hand on ball, yet no penalty. Jared, Rennie, they go to the referee, they ask for an explanation. You get an explanation, it's friggin' Spanish. There's no explanation to a lot of the actual rulings. The game's turning into a surrender, dive on the ground, play the ball, let's go again. It's getting into the Super League era. It's going backwards. They're not machines. You can't hit the deck, play the ball, go again in regards to how quick it is. And it's interpretation of the game. It's putting too much pressure on referees. Referees are making mistakes. And yet out there tonight, there's no way my team is that ill-disciplined. We work on it every week at training. I get the players in, I say, you are going to be penalised. You're easy to penalise at the moment. These poor buggers have been kicked like brown dogs over the last 2 years, and they're just easy to penalise. Penalise Parramatta. It's happened for the last 6 weeks, and we just got to keep learning and growing under adverse situations in regards to how they referee us, because that wasn't right out there tonight. Problem is, 2 football teams out there busting their asses in regards to preparing all week to go into a game like that, then have it decided not by the 2 football teams. That's the thing I get the shits about.
Number 5, Trent Robinson in 2021. One of the biggest headline-grabbing moments of the 2021 season occurred in a round 24 clash between the Rabbitohs and the Roosters. A Latrell Mitchell high tackle on Roosters star centre Joey Manu resulted in a fractured cheekbone for Manu, meaning his season would be over. Mitchell was also suspended for the infringement and would also miss the rest of the season, which ended up being crucial to his team's premiership hopes as they eventually lost by 2 points in the grand final. Trent Robinson blew up over the incident and was fined $20,000 for his comments in the press conference.
You know, I'm just baffled at it. He was down for how long, and then it took Joey to stand up and go and stick up for himself with a depressed fracture of the cheekbone. And then they still didn't want to do anything about it. Henry Perenara sitting in the bunker, didn't stop play, didn't do anything about it. Then Ashley asked them to play on, and then the players went at it again. And then he just missed it completely. Perenara, who's supposed to know some footy, sitting up in the box, and then doesn't do anything about it for maybe 30, 40, 50 seconds, doesn't do a thing about it. Joey Manu does something about it. It's a common theme of this year about the NRL and the bunker not looking after our players. It's been clear for... they've changed 2 rules, 2 of the major rules this year based on the bunker and the referees doing nothing about it on Roosters players. And you can say I'm playing up about a Roosters player, but the guy's off at hospital and then they get forced into finally making a call on it, and then they send him for 10 in the bin. 10 in the bin. It was laughable. It was that bad. It was almost laughable. They didn't know what they were doing. It was just, how do you send that for 10 in the bin? A guy will finish the year based on a late shot to the head, and it's 10 minutes in the bin. At which game? Like you cannot make decisions if that's your decision. And then we've got Siwa Takioa, who everybody knows. Corey, you know, that's a hip drop. Everybody knows you sit on the ankle, you twist down, and now he's got a knee injury over it. And a guy sitting in the bunker says that's just on report. You know, we're the most penalised team in the comp, and we're the most targeted. And the bunker, even was at the Brisbane game, we get a high shot on Satili Tupanua, and Henry Perenara doesn't want to send him off. Get out of there. If you can't do it, get out of there. Or just get rid of it all completely. Get rid of it completely. If you cannot do the job, get out of there. And it's shown that the NRL bunker cannot do their job this year. It's been a farce. It's been an absolute farce. So to see Joey Manu walk off, have to stick up for himself, that should have been stopped, 10 seconds after the incident? It's that bad, it's actually funny. It's that bad, it's actually funny. Like, what are they doing up there? Is it, there must be, I don't know what they're doing up there. There must be something going on when a Roosters player gets hit high in 2021. There must be something that distracts them. It's like the Twilight Zone up there when a Roosters player gets hit high.
Number 4, Ricky Stewart in 2017. The whole performance of the referees in this round 20 clash between the Raiders and the Storm outraged Ricky Stewart, suggesting the referees should come to the press conference and own up to their mistakes.
The supporters aren't idiots. You only had to listen to them tonight. I walk into the change rooms there, I got 47 texts. I never turned my phone on after the game, but I just wanted to make sure I wasn't wrong in what I was thinking tonight. 47 texts. Every one of those texts agreed with every fan out there and everything I believe in, what I see in that game tonight. Coaches have to come in here and own up to every question you blokes want to throw at us, and we do it week in and week out. We just keep on aiming up, coming in here, having to answer your questions after our week, season of hard work, and yet why don't the NRL get the referees to come in and answer some of these questions too?
Number 3, Trent Barrett in 2017. When controversial referee decisions have an impact on an elimination finals match, the coach is highly likely to blow up in the press conference. That's exactly what Trent Barrett did in his 2017 elimination final loss to the Panthers, as 2 controversial calls from the bunker forced Barrett to unload on the system.
Yeah, you could say that. That's probably an understatement. To have our season decided by 2 video referee calls, in my opinion, that weren't correct, is extremely tough to take. But at 10-all, how you get an on-field decision when a player kicks it into one of our players, it ricochets off him, into the Penrith player's chest, off his hand, how they can say that they are 100% confident that is a try is beyond me. And I have to be careful what I say, but what I would like is the bunker and Tony Archer and the referees to go into my shed and explain to my players that their season is now finished on the back of those 2 calls. The season will go on for everyone else, and everyone else, oh, geez, Manly got some rough calls. That's not good enough. Because if the Penrith, the ricochet one off the last, if that's awarded, if that's no try, which they should have done, they can't overturn it. It's crazy, and it's cost us our season. And dead set, what am I meant to say to the players? Unbelievable. So it's cost us our year. I hope that a grand final's not decided like that. That would be a bloody shame. The referee's better off saying, put his hands in there and say, I've got no idea. So let's have a look at it, rather than influence the decision of the bunker with a no try or try, when clearly how the hell can you see? It went off a foot, into a leg, into a chest, onto a hand. He must have good eyes.
Number 2, Shane Flanagan in 2017. The following day after Barrett's outburst came yet another press conference where Shane Flanagan believed the referees cost his Sharks their season. It was the other elimination final where Flanagan's Sharks took on the Cowboys in a classic finals match. Flanagan actually walked in with a full list of controversial referee decisions and addressed all of them during the interview. He was fined $30,000 and was very animated with his outburst.
No, it's disgraceful. Yeah, I know how Trent Barrett feels. I've spoken to BC, Brian Canavan, about, I'm not paying any money here, so I won't be getting sucked into that. But, the first one was, James Maloney. We talk about, at the biggest games of the year, and we just want it right, or close to right. Let the teams decide it. When is James Maloney a professional foul? It's not a professional foul, it's a penalty. If that. Luke Lewis got run off the ball every time. Go and watch the video how many times he got knocked to the ground in kick chase. Sasai Feki goes down the sideline and in a really important part of the game, goes to pass it to Ricky Latelli, his centre partner, back inside. Guess what? He got tackled without the ball. If anyone on this planet thinks Andrew Fifita knocked that ball on, it went through his legs, tunnel ball through his legs. Taumalolo plays at the ball, clearly punches the ball out of Luke Lewis's hands, clearly punches it out. Luke Lewis is one of the best players and honest players within this game, and he's never seen anything like it. And then we get to the real important ones. Paul Gallen, trying to get up to play the ball, and there's a bloke pulls the ball out. Paul Gallen should have been a penalty, game over, we win the game, full stop. So, we talk about decisions, crucial decisions, all wrong. And clearly there were some decisions there, especially the Gal one, at a crucial time. It should have been a penalty. Andrew Fifita's wasn't a knock on. They kick a field goal. Scoring plays. We talk about the games, we want to get people here. We've got bigger issues. We've got to fix this up. I've never seen anything like it. Luke Lewis in his whole career is telling me that he's never seen anything like it. We need to fix it up. Imagine if that was a grand final. Well, those two won't be there, but crucial. It's not a sin bin. It's not a professional foul. It's a penalty. But in the context of the game, Luke Lewis got knocked over numerous times. When Jimmy Maloney turned around and touched him, the ball's already in Valentine's hands.
And number 1, Jeff Toovey in 2013. Don't think there'll be many arguments here, as Manly coach Jeff Toovey pulled off one of the all-time blow-ups in his team's round 23 loss to the Rabbitohs. Toovey addressed the 10-5 penalty count that went against his team and the controversial Steve Maddai no try, with the bunkers staying with the on-field decision of no try. But many people, including Toovey, said that they could clearly see the ball on the ground from the replays. Nevertheless, you're about to see why this is, in our opinion, the biggest post-match press conference blow-up.
Right, let's talk about the real turning point. Let's talk about the no try. Steve Maddai held up. Unless I'm blind, I can see the ball on the ground. So what was the decision? Can someone answer me that? Someone.
That rule is just painted them in.
Well, no, hang on. He said held up, but the ball's on the ground. Therefore, he's not held up. So what did they get wrong? What? So the ball was on the ground or wasn't on the ground? You're saying the ball wasn't on the ground?
I'm not saying that.
Well, what do you think?
They're saying that I think it was grounded before the line. And then they got lifted up and was held up over the line.
Oh, come on. Come on, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. There's got to be an investigation into this. Someone's got to be accountable for this. And they've got to be accountable for the penalty count. It ended up 10-5 and there was a couple of even up ones at the end. Aren't we meant to have the best referees for this game? Were they the best referees we've got? 10-5 penalty count. It was 6-2 the first half, and the Manly side still managed to be in front. But the two blokes in the box couldn't see it. Well, they need high-definition TV, bigger ones. So if it was held up, I can see the ball on the ground. I don't get it.
So, what did you think of our list? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below, chuck us a like on Facebook and this video, follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our channel for more Rugby League Countdowns.